Hey guys, how's it going? I know you guys weren't able to be at the Youth Leaders Summit this past weekend. There was some really good stuff there, and so I just wanted to share really quick with you guys, kind of give you a summary of some of the good stuff that I got out of that. In particular, the one night there was a guest speaker, and he shared from Mark 13 about this parable in which Jesus talks about a farmer who comes out and he plants a field of wheat, and then his enemy comes, and his enemy throws a bunch of weeds in the field. And then a little while later, the farmer's workers come to the farmer and they say, "Hey, there's all these weeds in our wheat field." And the farmers, and then they say, "Oh, should we pull up all those weeds?" And the farmer says, "No, don't pull up the weeds. Leave the weeds. And then when it's time for the harvest, we'll harvest all of it, and then we'll sort out the weeds from the wheat." So the speaker at the summit made this point that to not to pull up the weeds because you might destroy the wheat. And what he was saying is, when it comes to doing youth ministry in particular, not to be too harsh on young people for where we see their weaknesses and where we see their weeds and where we see them needing to grow and doing foolish, stupid, annoying things. Because if we're too critical and too harsh, we could very easily destroy the good thing that's in them. We could discourage them, and shut them down. And so he did this thing where he said, like, well, think of, if you think of a young kid, can you think of a place where that kid needs to grow, like a weed? And yeah, it's pretty easy to think of some areas. You think of any one of our kids, you can think of something that they do that's annoying or stupid or whatever you wish they would stop doing. But he challenged us, like, no, don't do that. Let's think about the wheat in each of these kids' lives. And what's the fruit? And what's God doing? And what can we celebrate about each one of our kids? And I thought that was really, really good, a really good way to think about it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and challenge you in our youth group services and stuff like that we're doing coming up, to look at each kid and say, what is God doing in this kid? And what's the fruit in this kid's life? And what can we see that's worth celebrating? And to let some of the other stuff go, and let God worry about all those other little things, but let's us focus on what is good in this kid's life. So it was encouraging to me and challenging. So I hope that will be to you guys as well. And then also, I'd like to, maybe I'll mention this in the thing, we can start a conversation about it, but I'd like to try to plan another date when we can do another leaders meeting, and just talk about how things are going and what we'd like to do in our group. But then also talk about our schedule going into the summer, and then into the summer what we want to try to do as a youth ministry. And I know things seem like really, really busy, and I don't know when we would plan a leaders meeting, but I think it would be really good for us to make that connection. It's easy to like sort of touch base on Sunday, either at church or at youth group, kind of like just catch up with each other, but it's never really feels like a real good conversation. So we're gonna try to make that place where we can actually have better relationship, and talk about where the direction our ministry is going. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.